Hi everyone, I'm Oriana Shea with the Oriana Shea Group, and I am here with Monica Goel from TLD Law. Monica specializes in trust and probates, and she is a trusted attorney that I've worked with for a very long time, and she was nice enough to come here today to answer a few commonly asked questions about living trusts versus a will, why you need them, what's the difference, and welcome, Monica.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here.
So what is the difference?
Okay, so most people have heard of a will. They've watched on TV a very dramatic will reading. They have some sense of what it does. It's a written document that sets forth where your assets go when you pass away. The problem with a will in the state of California is that if you have no documents at all or only a will, your will has to go through probate administration, which is a court process in California in order to confirm all of the terms of the will and to carry out the terms of the will. When you hear the word court in California, think cost and delay. And that's really the problem with having only a will. A trust is a document that's also a written document that sets forth where your assets go when you pass away, but it's a much more powerful document. It also allows people to take care of you in the event of incapacity, and most importantly, you can do a lot of important tax planning and you avoid probate court completely.
Well, and that answered my next question. Why is it important? And is it more important if you own property versus if you don't own property? Let's talk a little bit about that.
Great. There's a lot of important reasons to utilize a trust for your planning. The trust allows you to transfer property, both real property and financial assets, without any court supervision. But more importantly, it really allows someone to take care of you if you are incapacitated. It also allows you to do very powerful things post-death. For instance, if you have adult dependent children, or if you have children who are not good money managers, or who have certain afflictions that give you pause, you can help control how that money gets designated to them and held for them for quite some time. So it's a really important way to be able to control your wealth and to pass down your wealth in your family line.
And does a trust help you prevent probate altogether?
It sure does. It avoids the probate process altogether. Now, if there are certain legal aspects that come up, like a trust contest or there's elder abuse involved, you might still find your trust documents in court. But for the most part, the trust avoids probate completely, which means you avoid statutory fees, you avoid state and court involvement in your estate.
Let me tell you, having been through a number of probate sales over the years, that is a really big deal, guys. So take that to heart. It's well worth going through the process of getting your trust set up just to help protect your family in the event something happens. What are the different types of trusts? What's the difference between revocable and irrevocable?
Great question. First, let me start out by saying don't let the word trust scare you. A trust is not for someone who's super wealthy or for someone who wants to have their wealth passed on solely through trusts for their children. A trust is a separate entity, but the most common type of revocable living trust is a tool that the everyday person can use in order to pass on their estate to their children. You don't have to be super wealthy. You do have to own property or assets in the amount of $184,500. This is the threshold for probate. So if your savings are over that amount and you own any type of property, it's important to have a trust in order to avoid probate. There are revocable and irrevocable types of trusts. In a revocable trust, you do the planning and that document grows with you over your lifetime. You can amend and or revoke it. The most common type of amendments that are made are when we create the trust when our children are little and we appoint others to be able to take care of them in the event something happened to us. And then we watch our children grow and become good money managers. And ultimately, we change out those people for our children to take care of us in our old age. But an irrevocable trust is a tool that is used by families in order to do some advanced gifting. You can create an irrevocable trust for the benefit of your children or grandchildren and move assets out of your estate so that it's not included in your estate at the time of death. People often do that if they're worried about estate taxes.
And it's also even if for married couples, if they're setting up their trust and they, God forbid, one of them passes, the reassurance of knowing that if they have their assets divided separately, there's a lot of blended families out there, that they can rest easy knowing that their spouse isn't going to remarry and their share of the estate is going to go to the new spouse instead of their children,
Absolutely.
right?
So a revocable trust becomes irrevocable if the people who created it are incapacitated and or they pass away. You mentioned a really important type of planning, and that is a marital trust where half of the trust becomes irrevocable when the first spouse passes away. It doesn't take away the assets from the first spouse. The assets are still managed by the surviving spouse, and all of the income and principal is used for their care. However, the surviving spouse cannot disinherit the beneficiaries of that irrevocable trust. So this tool is often used in blended families and for families to be able to avoid estate taxes by creating a credit shelter trust. And this way, it gives people a lot of reassurance that their beneficiaries won't be disinherited if they passed away first.
Great advice. Great advice. Any tips or anything else you want to share?
I would recommend speaking to a professional about what type of trust works best for you. There are so many powerful things that you can do with the trust and important planning that you could do not only for yourself, but for your family. And if you're someone who likes control, the trust really gives you control past death to be able to really protect and to grow your assets in the future.
Awesome. And we're going to have a link for your website and your contact info in with the video. So if you would like to make an appointment with Monica's office, check it out down below. We'll have the information for you. As always, if you have questions and want to schedule a time to talk with me, take a picture of the QR code up on the screen, and I'd love to talk to you. Bye for now, and thanks so much for watching, and I hope you found this helpful.